Quick and creative edits is our topic today on this special edition of Luminar Coffee Break. And I'm here at T&F Camera. You'll hear the live in a moment. Hit it, everyone. So we're here and we're going to do a real special event. This is not going to be 10 minutes or less. So grab a cup of coffee and let's get going. All right, everyone. So we're going to start out. Well, the first thing is this. We did an amazing shoot. We have kings, queens, horses, falcons, knights, you name it. It's here. And the photographers get to work with all of them. That's what we've been working on. Well, now, the part we're going to work with here is the editing part. Now, I know a lot of you do a lot of photo shoots. If you overshoot, if you shoot too much, that's just as bad as not shooting enough. Because you have to sit in front of the computer and go through all those images. So it's always best to shoot in sets. Now, what I want to do is show just a few quick tools that you could apply to enhance your images quickly. And then you can be a little bit more creative. All right. So here we are. Now we're inside Luminar Neo, and everyone here will receive a copy of it because it was part of the workshop itself. Now, first thing is this. Whether you're using our software or any other software, you need to go into the editing section of the tools and you look towards the essential tools. This is your digital darkroom. Now, I'm going to show you a quick way. This is the traditional way. At Skylum, we kind of believe the old way of editing is outdated. If you have to manually mask something, then it's defeating the purpose of using AI. AI is not an enemy. Just think of AI as like presets. It's something you normally would do over and over and over again, but the difference is you programmed it to do it. Now, this is great, but look, it's giving me these numbers. 0.75, minus 99. Well, you know what that means? Those are hard numbers. So if I copy this and paste it to a set of images, if it doesn't need the highlights or it doesn't need the shadows to be increased, it doesn't matter. It'll automatically do it anyways, and that's bad. That's not what we want. What we want is the power of AI. So I'm going to convert this, and now I'm going to use Enhance AI right here. Now this one tool, look at this. It automatically improves color, detail, tone, and depth. It's not an auto tool. So you saw earlier, I did with the develop tool, there was an auto feature. Right? And that's just, it's looking at that image and it's editing it. What we're going to do a little bit differently here is it's going to look at this image and apply this edit up here, by the way. Think of this as history. So what this is doing is it's using that feature of the develop tool. But look at that. Pull it in one shot. Now, the difference between this software and a parametric editor, like our old Luminar AI or Light, you can only do one edit or one tool at a time. Here, I can apply the tool multiple times. Now, I'm going to apply it again. Look at this. But here's the key. Let's say here, I applied the tool the second time, but I don't want it to be applied on the bottom half of the image. Each tool has masking. And if any of you have ever worked with Photoshop, you know how complicated masking is. Well, think of it this way. Here's the tool, mask. Every tool has this option. I could use a brush, a gradient. I'm going to use a linear gradient. I'm going to click here and go, okay, where there's red, I don't want it to be applied. So the effect that we just did, I only want it to be applied in these areas here. So look at this. So the effect that we just did there, look what I just did to it. I'm going to reverse it, invert, and now when I do this, look what it's doing. I could decide where I want that to be applied. All right, we have a quick question.
This is sky. Are you saying AI? That's a sky.
Exactly. So she asked is with the AI, with the enhanced sky enhancer, it automatically knows, oh, there's a sky, here it is. Now, what happens if there's no sky in the image, but I created this as a custom preset? It bypasses it. It'll bypass it and say, well, I know, your name again is? Helen said, Helen of Troy. Helen says, hey, I want you to apply the sky to this image. Well, if there's no sky in it just bypasses it. If there's no shine on a person's forehead, it'll just bypass it. So that's why AI is the next gen. And when I met Skylar the first time, they said to me, Vanelli, the old way of editing is outdated. How would you like to be part of something big? How could you say no to that? So that's really cool. But each tool has masking. And let's say, I'll come back in here again. I'm going to apply the tool for a third time. And let's say, you know what, I need sky. I'm going to overbake the sky right there. And pop this in. Well, I don't, oh, let me, thank you. I don't have my confident monitor in front of me. They're telling me, hey, Vanelli, change the screen. So I'm going to use the brush this time. So brush is the easiest way to remember. Paint it in or paint it out. Either I want to apply the tool to what area. I just want to apply it. Ready? This. So where there's the red, that's where it's being applied. I know I made a mistake earlier. So now look what just happened. Look at that. Now let's go a little crazier. I'm going to come down here to the develop tool. And I'm going to do, this is called a local change versus a global change. Globally, I'm going to change the entire image. So I'm going to purposely underexpose. Now, if you watch what I'm doing, you're going to go, hey, that's what you guys talked about when we were working on lighting out in the field. So I made the entire image dark. Well, that's not what I want. What I want, brush, or I'm sorry, we'll go with the radial gradient. I just want that rock to appear. Well, I just told that tool that I want everything in the image dark except that rock. So I'll do the rock this time. I'm going to paint out there. Here. Look what just happened. Look how I cut a hole right into that area. Now, because I did it, I'm going to reset it. Because I used the brush, notice it looked harsh. So instead, let's go back to the global change, mask, radial gradient, and I click and say, look, you know what? That tool is going to be applied, the darkness, to the rock. No, I want it, everything but the rock. Now watch. Ooh, look at that. And now if you look at it and think, well, it's too dark, too bright, it's non-destructive. And you can always go back to these edits, which is your history, and look, every tool, everything you create is right there. So if you go back and go, you grabbed a cup of coffee and you're like, it looked good last night. You wake up in the morning with that cup of coffee, you go, what the heck was I thinking? I over-processed this image. Then you go back and you say, okay, well, I went overboard, like that, like that. Oh, you know what? That one's okay, it's good. Oh man, that's getting too dark. You could either adjust it here or you could delete it. So think in terms of I'm going to make a change to the entire image and I go back and fix it. Remember we talked about that yesterday when we did lighting. We were shooting at night. And here we are. You have that light shining on the person and you're like, oh man, I want the background to be darker than that person that's lit. So we purposely, if we had no light to see and we took a picture, everything would look dark. But then Mike gave us that light. We fired the light. The whole background was dark because that light can't travel that far. But the person in front of us was lit perfectly. That's considered a global change. And now you paint with light. That's a local change. Rick Freeman did it with the light painting. Who saw the light painting last night? Isn't that kind of freaky? That you're looking at a dark scene and all of a sudden they start waving these wands everywhere. And 30 seconds later, you look, you're like, oh my God, the camera captured that. So, in terms of local change versus global. All right, so there's that one. Now, this is black magic. I'm telling you, I don't know how our engineers designed this. All I know is it's amazing. If I shot this image, let me pull it up. I love this image to death. I wish I shot it, but I didn't. This gentleman is part of three brothers. They're making more money modeling now in workshops than they are fishing. So this is like one of those destinations. You'll see these images everywhere. But if I shot this image, guess what I would do? I would put my assistant in that eel-infested waters and say, hey, we need light on the subject. So here comes black magic. Ready? Should have gotten the ooh out of that one. Hit it. Ooh, now give me an ah. Thank you. All right, but look at that. How does it know that? All it knows is it's a human being. It could be a male, it could be a female, it doesn't matter who it is. There's a face in the scene. It won't work with animals because it doesn't recognize it. So that light just came into the scene. Now it's darker on my monitor than it is on that TV. They calibrated the TV a little bit different. So I'm going to go a little overboard with the editing just so you can see it better. But if the light popped on his face, where'd that light come from? The light came from this lantern. Well, guess what? That lantern's not strong enough to produce that type of light. So we'll use magic light. Get ready. It's going to find artificial light. Oh, you guys are learning. That was good. All right. So, but look what it did. Like, but you know what? I don't want the flare like it was shot with an F-22 f-stop. So I'm going to take that beam and the cleanness of that beam down, and all I want is a glow. So, oh, that's number of beams. There's the glow. Look at that. So if you think about it, ready? Look at this. Look how I'm reshaping light. So that magic light. So think of the nights and the stuff that we shot yesterday. You want to adjust a light on their face. That's the tool we use. If you want to add it to whatever in the scene that's artificial light, then we'll use magic light. Helen?
So with glow, there was flash of light out of the lamp. So was it taking advantage of raised?
Yes. Good. So it knows that there's haze in the scene. All right. So you know what? You get a lens cloth. You get a lens cloth. All right. Tiffin gave everyone a lens cloth. Everyone. So here we are. So now I'm so sorry. You know he's gonna disturb us anyway. So I might as well do it. Rick, we're live. So come on over. Come on over, everyone. Rick Freeman. And, well, you don't like being on camera. All right, we were just talking about your light painting yesterday, global change versus the local change. We made everything dark, and then you and Karen magically brought that image to life. So, thank you. No, we're doing a class. Are you over there now? All right, get going. Bye. All right, so, love him to death. All right, so here we are. Now, if I shot this, I would have wanted it to be on Blue Hour. So we have a choice to make. Now, you can either wait for Blue Hour, or we could say, you know what, we don't got time. So I'm going to come to my creative tools. So all the tools are laid out. You have the image quality ones, but here we are, essentials. This is where photographers are going to live. Essentials in any program is the digital darkroom. If you say, okay, I got it, it looks great, I edit, I develop my photo, now I want to get creative, that's where the creative tools come in. And here we are. Well, I'm going to come in here to Tony. I love this. Blue Hour, here we come. And Rick could have enough time to go out to eat after. Look at this. So instead of waiting for Blue Hour, look how we added it. So I'm just changing the highlights and the shadows. Look at this. There's the Blue Hour. Remember what I said. The old way of editing is outdated. The old way of editing is outdated. So if I had to manually mask, I don't want the Blue Hour on him. I want everything. But if I had to manually mask, if I come in here and brush, well, guess what? The next image I do, and I paste this, the adjustments or the preset to another image, it's gonna look beautiful. And then there's gonna be a hole right here. You've done that before in Lightroom, right? How many times have we done that where you're like, oh, this is great. Hey, wait, what the heck is that? I masked it. So the trick is, or the key is, to save your masking to the end, or Because my engineering team, they're like, well, what would you do different? Like, I wish you would find it. Oh, we'll do it. Mask AI, look at this. It's going to automatically analyze this image. It's going to find the human, water, landscape, natural, whatever it's in the scene. It's going to come back and look, sure enough, it found there's a human in the scene. Well, I'll click on human. Now, remember what we said. I don't want the tool applied to him. I want the tool applied to the background. You get that? Before, after. So if he and his other two brothers, Daryl and the other brother, Daryl, if they're there, oh, come on, give me a laugh on that one. We need laugh tracks. If his two brothers were there and you shot 40 images, you just click one of them and say, paste onto the rest of them. And now, boom, you got 40 edits completely done in a fraction of a time. So that's why I said the old way of editing is outdated. We don't want it to have hard numbers. Now, what else we want to do? Well, we want to direct light. So let's come up here to the essential tools. Watch this vignette. I'm going to choose a subject, him. Now, this part, I wouldn't put this part in the preset, because now look what I did the old way. I told it, look, I want you to start there. Watch this. Let's go to an extreme. Wherever I tell you, that's where we start the vignette. Now, watch this. If anyone ever says to you, wow, that's a beautiful vignette, you went overboard. A vignette is supposed to be that unsung hero. Watch what it's going to do. I'm going to dial it back, bring it here. So it's there, right? But watch this. Magic, inner light. Ooh, look at that. Now watch. Let's see if it makes a difference. Tell me if your eye is drawn. Ready? How cool is that? All right. So when we're photograph or we're going to be editing a lot of the nights, that's when you want to use this vignette tool. You want to darken everything around it, but at the same time, you want to make sure you customize. Now, let's say you had to do this in Photoshop or in Lightroom. Well, from here, the old way of doing it, I'll do this. Remember we taught you global change. So I'm going to go to develop. Here's the global change. I made everything dark. Then we're going to come in and say, you know what, though? Erase the effects here. And it's similar to what we were doing. You see that? But it's still not the same. That's why. So our team watches us do things. So the team watched me. So, well, how would you do this if you didn't have a tool? I showed them. They're like, oh, we could do better. I always love that. I'll show them something in 5 steps, and they'll go, oh, that's too many steps. It should be one click, and it should be able to do it from one to another image in a fraction of the time. So when I helped design a lot of this stuff, honestly, I thought of my sister. She has zero patience. She is our curator of all the photos in her family, thank God, and I'm the photographer. She's the one who takes all of them. She has zero patience on coming in and editing their images. When she sees this, what she did, she goes, oh, I could do that. I'll just sit in my lounge chair and just move sliders around. And then she loves that idea. So whenever I think somebody who's a photo enthusiast, how can a photo enthusiast make this even better? And then I think of us pros, and we think, okay, but what would a pro want? Well, you saw what I wanted. I wanted to glow be pinpointed into him. So, again, we get rid of that. Real simple vignette. Grab it. Pip. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Good. You know what? You're my confidence monitor. What's your name? Joe. That's easy. Joe, you're my confidence monitor. So, Joe, whenever I'm on this screen, just go, or something. Everybody, hey, Vanelli, tell me. Change. Well, that's what Alexa would do, right? So, here we are. We're going to take this, and we'll do the same concept. Right there, inner light. Pop it in, make a difference. There it is. And last but not least, for the love of God, when you're done editing, please export. I wrote this incredible article, top 5. Oh no, Lightroom lost my mistakes people make. Adobe's not in the business of making you lose photos. It's user error. Now I'm with Skylum. I wrote the article, hey, oh my God, Neo lost my photos. He didn't. They didn't save them. So whenever you're done with a creative, if you love this, if this is what you want, thanks Joe for the cue. Maybe every one of these things. All right. If that's what you love, export it. Export it. And where do you export it? Ready? Want to export it? I made a complete folder. Why underscore complete? So if Bart calls me and says, which he has, Vanelli, where's that photo of my daughter you took with the athletic look? I'll click on complete, underscore complete. And by the way, it's a Windows thing, I think, underscore, because it shoots it to the top. So when I look at this, underscore is the very, very first folder in that file, in the folder structure. So I put it in underscore complete. There it is. And I'll hit select folder. And boom, it's in that folder. So now I don't have to go searching for it. Because if God forbid, Luminar Neo, Lightroom, or if you're using, or some of the other ones, Myleo, if you're using any of those softwares that are cataloging your images, and it crashes, and you lose everything, you'll end up with hair like mine. You'll pull it out. So that's why it's important. There's nothing wrong with that. Why are you looking at me like, what? Well, that's up to you. You decide. Like, if you know, yeah, so if you're editing like 30 images, just select all of them. Say, all right, batch export. Done. Grab a cup of coffee. Not from Dunkin', but grab a cup of coffee. Well, no, because I didn't have the protein powder in it. Grab it, drink it, watch it. And if you're going to watch Paint, all right, they made the export feature much faster, but that's one of those things you just walk away and let it do its thing. Strictly on your computer. So it's on your computer. Everything is safe. Now, I did write a book called 3-2-1 Backup. We won't get into that now, but it's 3 copies of your data. 2 stored locally on separate devices, 1 stored in the cloud. Why did I write it? My son, we baptized him. He was born in 1996. We went to New York to baptize him at Christmas. Came home at the karate school that I owned was broken into. Everything was taken. You know what I did? This was horrible. I brought the stuff with me. I came back because he was sick. I went to the karate school, and on the 6th, on January 6th, I went home because he was sick. I left my backup SideQuest drives there. Everything was gone. So think of all those scanned photos I did of him when he was first born. He didn't have digital back then. All the poems I wrote, all the karate students' information, all that stuff was gone. That's when I sat down and wrote the 3-2-1 Backup. It was originally written in 1950. A young kid, when I was teaching this to the college, said, "Wow, you wrote the book back in 1950? How old do you think I am? You're old? No, the love of God. They had computers in the 50s? Oh my God." So that is a 3-2-1. So it's always important. Now, when we're doing today's show, your memory card is your one source of your backup, right? My computer is my second source. By the time I leave, I don't have time to put up into the cloud because the internet at the hotel is horrible. I have an external drive that I just make sure all that's in there. Because how horrible would that be? Imagine if you go on one of our trips to Iceland or to Scotland. You spend $7,000 on this trip. You spend a week to stay with us. And all of a sudden, you lose all of somebody steals your camera on the plane ride home. And you've left your memory cards, 2 of them, in the same bag. That's why it's important to make sure you have 3, so if anything happens, at least you have that in your pocket. All right? So that was using AI, and I hope you guys like that part of it. Now, here's where you're going to love this. We are not a graphics program. So I got a black background. I just did that in Canva. You could do it in Photoshop, whatever it is. I have an 8x10. You design for the output. Ready? So, I'll show you my sports grit look, but I'm going to show you this first. Here's my buddy. Here's my buddy Sterling. Where is he, Sterling? All right. All right, here we are. I love Sterling. Here's my buddy Sterling. I'm going to put him on a layer. We were photographing at this event in Washington State. When I say one light, it was a one light town, I was scared. The models didn't show up. We have a whole group of people like, and I look at Sterling and he's panicking to calm him down. I go, hey, come on, schools for the arts. The building and accept your building? Oh, so where did you go? He whipped out these tools. I go, you're our model. He's like, yep. So here he is. Ready? Here's Sterling. Here's his brother. Here he comes. Ready? Here's his brother, Daryl. We talked about before. Here's his other brother, Daryl. Coming in. Ready? There he is. Now, when it comes in, it's at 50% opacity. I'll move it to 100. Now, notice you don't see what's underneath it, right? If I were to, I'm going to move him to the top of the list, and then we'll move this Daryl up here. Well, I don't see those Daryls because that, right there, oh, wrong one, because that black background is blocking it. You know it's photographers. Photographing black on black is hard to extract the person thing. Watch this. Portrait background removal. I'm going to click on it, and bam. I said bam. There he is. Bam. It punched it out. Oh, there's his other brother. I love that look. There he is. Well, we got to do the same thing to this one now. I'm going to come in, mask it, portrait background, remove it, and here it comes. Bam. He's gone. Third brother, Daryl. Second brother, Daryl. Let's move him over here. And now, depth perception as photographers. If we really shot this like this, we would make him right? There's a depth, right? That's how you would do it. Now, here's what's really cool. You see how I showed you how each of the tools has its own masking capabilities? So do layers now. So now that means I can apply as many tools as I want, so either all three images at the same time or individual. So this image here with him in front, he looks good, but this image back here, I am going to come in to our develop tool. But you know what I want to do? Is look at his shirt. His shirt's a little blown out. Ooh, look at that. Notice he's only being not the other two. So I got that set with him, and yep, you guessed it. We're going to come down to portrait, and we're going to relight the face just a little bit. There we go. And then notice under edits, which, again, this is your history. Think of this as your history. There it is. For that layer, develop and face is what I used. Well, if I click on the next layer, nothing's there because we didn't apply it to that layer. So now with this one, we already established that we love our Enhance AI. So watch this. Look at the green. Look at that. Look how I brought it out. Now it looks like light was coming in from somewhere. Now it's adding depth. Now I love all of this, but I'm going to select the top image, hold the Shift key. I'll select the bottom image, right click. I'm going to merge the layers. All I'm doing now is I'm telling Luminar Neo, hey, I love everything up to this point. Make it one layer. Keep the other ones. So if I change my mind, keep them. But now this layer, whatever I apply, is going to be applied to all three of them. So, again, local change. Make everything dark. I'm sorry, global change. And make everything dark. Now let's go back to the local change. I only want the darkness to appear down here. There it is. Ready? Before, well, Can't do before and after on that one. So we'll do this. Under edits, look, you see how that ties everything in? So now, instead of me having to go to each layer and say, well, apply this to each layer, that's going to get very cumbersome. Remember, our goal is efficiency. Our goal is to be the most amount of creativity in the least amount of time. The more you can be out shooting. All right, Helen?
Sorry.
No, sorry.
It also lit up the bid.
Yep.
How do you do?
Who knows? How would I darken the bid? You know, that's called a bid.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I was like, I didn't know. All right, I'm going to hide the layer. So let's go back to this one here. Oh, thank you. Joe, Joe, you're supposed to, Joe, do the, yes. That's what my family says. I can't get a word in. All right, so here we are. Thank you, Joe. So here we are. Now, think, Helen. We said, let's look at the tool. Here's an ANSI. Masking. What did you say you didn't like, Helen?
The dark bid on top of the green.
So on top of the green, here you're saying, or the other side? Oh, okay, just the color. So this is what it looks like, right? You said you don't like that on him. So what we're going to do is this. We're going to say erase the just into here. Now you see what you're doing? Now you're an artist. And if you say the Vanelli, you know what? That's good, but I want it more. I want it darker. Okay, well, let's do it again. You want that dark?
Yeah.
Oh, there you have it. Yep. So now you're saying, I just want it. Paint it just on this. Leave everything else the same. There it is. How neat is that? That you can fine tune your paint. Now, the first step on this is to do as much of the generic editing as possible. Things that's boring, like you're like, you know what? I always do this. Every time I open an image, me personally, these are the things I do. Then you just create a preset and say, look, every time I open an image, start with this recipe. Do this. Now I'm going to be creative. Like Helen said, hey, I like this image, but I want that to be darker. Now you just saw what we did. We applied it to the entire image, and then just paint that darkness into the area you want. All right? So, do you have any questions up to that point about this? Mike?
You remove the background. You do a batch to remove.
So that's where again, creative editing, because he asked me, well, what about batch processing? That's where you come in, select all of them, get rid of the background, it'll go in, and then quality control. You go back and say, okay, did a great job here. Oh, not so much here. Let me just adjust this. Remember, it's AI. People think, oh my God, it's taking over the world. Well, how many times do you hang up on the phone with AI? I would like to help you with your question. What would you like to do? Customer service. So I can help you with what? And then you're like, customer service. That's number 7. 7 what? 14. What? It's going to be customer service. I don't understand what you're saying. They're not here to replace us. It's here to replace us. So with that stuff, that's your key. Now, I'm going to do this. Joe, wait for Joe. I'm moving until Joe says something. Oh, Joe says screen. Now I'm moving. Thank you, Joe. All right. This started the sports grit look. All right. I'm going to show you this because we're doing a lot of the stuff with the Knights. Stylize the shoot first. In other words, if look, we have the eyeball, we have the eyeball model, Kate, he's holding the football. That's stylizing. Can I go for this one? I did. So on this one here, oh, thank you, Joe. Joe, you be louder. You gotta be like my sister. No, don't you call her. You say, Joe. Yeah, do that. Thank you, guys. I'm so spoiled at my house. I have 5 monitors. There's a conference monitor right in front of me. So here I am with this here. I put dirt on his face. Why did I put dirt on his face? Make it look more realistic. And guess why else? His mother was there with his father and his little sister. Got them all involved. Garrett, stay there. Mom, Put your hands open. What? Put dirt in her hands. What the? Poured water like this. Rub it all on his face. Oh, by all means. Rub it on his arms. She got so, it got them into the scene. Now they're part of it. They're invested. That's one reason. The other reason I did it, and I won't do the grit look yet. I'll just do this to show you. Watch when we add structure, or detail rather. Look what it's going to do. Oh, look how it's bringing out that dirt on his face. You see that? So let's get rid of this. Now, the tool that made me work at Skylum, and they got me at a workshop or at a trade show in WPPI. They said, Vanelli, get one of your images. You just came back from the Badlands. Try one of these tools to add a dramatic effect. Notice the key words they use. Dramatic effect to it. Well, I see dramatic. They set me up. This is my sports grit look. This took Joel Grimes and I maybe 15, 20 minutes per image. Watch this. Ready? There's my sports grit look that I'm known for. And actually my hometown, went to a shoot. The person said, Mr. Vanelli, we have your invoice. It's a brand new person for this company. But you're $2,000 more than the other person put a bid in, and her images look just like yours. Was it? She said, oh, I hope so, because last week she took my class, and I taught her how to do it. And they said, well, if you can't change it, we're going with them. Go with her. A week later, Mr. Vanelli, we need your help. What's the problem? The image didn't come out like you. I should have not, because, I mean, if they did, if all I had to do was take one class and I have this skill level, what the heck have I been doing all these years? So I said, she's new. What she did for you, it looks good. Well, it's not like yours. You got my invoice. Oh no. Ready for this? Could you do it for free? Free? Well, yes, because you've been shooting for us for years. I would think you'd want to. Are you serious? I said, no. I said, there's no way. Loyalty goes both ways. She called back the next day. Fine. I got in big trouble from my boss. He had no idea it wasn't you. Could you please bail us out? I said, oh my God, I am so sorry. I'm booked to the end of the year. No. Here's 3 things you decide, because all of you, I know all of you do free shoots for people. I know you do. That's good. It's also bad. So you have to ask yourself 3 things. Do you like the person? Is it good for your portfolio? Are you going to learn something from it? Is it good for, and are they going to pay you? Well, let's say the Ronald McDonald House. I did stuff for the Arnold Palmer Hospital, the Ronald McDonald House. Are they going to pay me? No. In fact, I had to pay driving to get there and all this other stuff. Do I like them? Oh my God, I love what they do. Is it good for my portfolio? Yes, at the time, I needed it. That was year 1. Year 2. Okay, I really don't need more of these for my portfolio, but you know what? I'll do it. I brought an intern with me. Year 3. This has cost me too much money. I'm sorry, I can't. So the Italian Catholic guilt trip in me says, oh, you better do it. That's what I did instead. My mother always taught us, if you ever want a job done right, you teach someone how they should get it done. So I taught my intern. Does he like the people? He loves them. Is it going to be worth money to him? Nope. Is it great for his portfolio? Yes. He did it for, guess what? 2 years. The second year he brought an intern, his own intern. I love Richie Acevedo to death. He's just, you remember Richie. Richie, I just love him to death. We're on 4 generations now. Because that whole Catholic guilt trip thing, where you got to keep it going somehow. And every so often, they'll say to me, wow, I think Richie surpassed you. Oh, you're trying to bait me into competition? Because you know I'm competitive. No. Don't. I know what you're trying to do. No. I look at Richie's photos. I'm like, ah. I went back again. And I had to. It's my pride. And Richie was laughing. He goes, what's the matter, boss? I go, Richie, seriously, wedding photography? So Richie, I bow to you on this. With what wait, are you serious? No. His idol is Roberto Venezuela. and Jerry Cohones. So when we got to an event, I said, Richie, who's your favorite? You are, Mr. No, I'm not. Alberto! Spend about 30 minutes with him, please. He goes, you got it, sir. Roberto took time. His idol, Roberto, spent time, and I loved it because every moment after that was, well, when Roberto showed me this, we do it like this. Well, back in the day when Roberto showed me this, I'm like, for real? But as an educator, we all know that. There are things that you may relate to somebody else better than you will me. All you do is ask. And we try to find the right person to be the mentor under. And remember, Bart, you did this for your kids. Luck, Luck, laboring under correct knowledge. And if you have the luck, it's because you found the right people. And at T&F, that's why he's going out of his way to make all these workshops for you. So if you have someone you love and you wanted a workshop, tell them. If he doesn't have a connection to bring them in, one of us will. All right? So that's my sports film. Right click. I'll do it down here. Thank you, Joe. That was good, Joe. Now, there. So here we are. I'm going to create a preset. And we're going to create this preset. We'll call it, as it comes up, in a moment, I'm going to call it the sports look. I have like 15 of them. So let's call it Joe's Grunge. All right, you like that? Good. So here we are, Joe's Grunge. Now, we shot that one, we shot that one. Remember the old Joe Namath stuff? Shot that one. Adjustment. Or I'm sorry, let's go, yeah. So I'm going to copy this look here. Adjustment, copy. Now I'm just select the ones that I want, and I'll just right click, adjustment, paste. Now when I paste it, that sports grid look at that, it's already applied. How fast is that for us? So here's the key. When you're editing your images, when we do the shoots from what we were just doing over the weekend, over the week here, separate them into segments. Okay, well, these are similar lighting, similar areas, similar poses. Let me just one. Copy, paste it to all of them. Now you have a consistent look. So when I'm flipping through Facebook and I see, oh, wow, oh, that's Helen's photo, you develop a style. People see. One of my buddies, Richard Clark, on our Luminar Coffee Break, his photos of these birds, the hummingbirds and stuff that he's been doing, it's awesome. He motivated this portrait photographer to want to photograph hummingbirds. So those are the key. You develop your style, whatever that style may be. All right? So those are some of the quick wow factors. The goal I was trying to show you here was you start out, once you get the images into the computer. All right, thank you. We get the computers you get the images in the computer. Once they're in the computer, you're going to live, for now, in the essential tools. That's going to be your digital darkroom. Develop the images, tweak it. I love Enhance AI because it does all the work. In fact, some of you were out there with me. Do you remember they said, well, what are your settings? It was pitch dark at night, and we're using flash. I said, I'm going to show you a little trick that a lot of pros, if you hear them say this, walk out. Oh, you're not a real photographer unless you shoot in manual mode. Give me a break. Something's got it. I put it in auto ISO. I knew my f-stop. I knew my shutter speed. I knew the light to subject distance, and I knew the power of the light. So the only other variable was ISO. If it's too dark, the ISO. If it's too bright, lower the ISO. I let the camera do it. Came out and said 100. All right, guys, guess the answer is 100. Wow, you're so smart. Smart. How much money has Nikon, Canon, Sony invested in those cameras? Think about that. Why not take advantage of it? Then once I did, then I took it out of auto ISO. Now I'm creative. So learn the rules like a pro so you can break them as an artist. All right? So now that we have that set, I am going to come in because I have a little time. Where's our producer? Mike? About maybe, what, 10 minutes do I have? Oh! All right. That's what we're going to do right now. So here we are, medieval. Now, by the way, I'm going to show you this. Show in Windows Explorer if you're on Mac, show in Finder. And I'm going to move this screen over for you. There it is. All right. Here's what's really cool about our product. I created a workshop folder, traveling on the road. Here's my workshop folder, T&F. These were all the, you know I'm going to show it. You know I got to show it. These are all the images that I photographed the last time I was here, right? Well, look where I put them. I put them in this folder. Now, here's the new one. The new folder, all I had to do was drag and drop them from my memory card into this folder. And because it's an active folder, guess what? They automatically appear here in Luminar Neo. You know what that means for us? We could tether shoot. We could tether. I can take a picture, send it to the computer. It goes in that folder. Now it's automatically in Luminar Neo. In Lightroom, you remember, oh my God, I put the images in there. Where are they? Part of that, oh my God, Lightroom lost my photos. No, just hit resync. Resync. Oh, here they are. They were always there. So here's your rule, whether it's our software or any other software. Design at the operating level, not the software level. Because if you decide to change softwares like Aperture, the Mac version of Lightroom was called Aperture, they ended up closing down. All those people that spent years organizing their images, it's gone. So, design at the system level. This here is on my computer. So if I decide to back it up, I just back up one folder. There it is. If I shut down Luminar Neo and let's say, for whatever reason, something happens to it, I uninstall it, so what? Just reinstall it, point it to this folder, everything is organized nice and neat. So design at the system level, not at the software level. All right? So this is what we did, and like I said, we were here. Yes.
I edit on a purpose.
Yep. Windows. Go on.
Raw and edited and external because my purpose
Yep.
doesn't have memory to do that. I do that.
Yep. Perfect. And thank you. So how many of you edit on a laptop? All right. How many of you from a laptop, you also have like a big monitor connected to it? Good. Now, laptops only have a few gigabytes. Like this one here is 4 gigs or 4 terabytes. It has 4 terabytes. There's no way I can store all my stuff on this, and you don't want to, because the more photos you have on it, the slower the machine's going to go. So here's the general rule of thumb. Your C drive is your fastest drive. So your computer drive should be your fastest. Then your external drives, it could be USB. Do not do network. That's something totally different. But your external drive, I use a RAID system. So if one drive crashes, well, it will. Nothing ruins. I just put a new drive in. Everything is rebuilt. There's that 3-2-1 backup. So the external drive, I don't have it. It's about this big, right? When I travel. Now I store everything from there to here. Once it's here, I'm safe. And that's how should be your workflow. You could use your operating system if you want to do something really quick and then later move it over. That's up to you. Some people do that concept too. But if you're home with a desktop, that's easy. You just keep adding more memory to it. All right. So, by the way, why am I showing this image? Oh, look who's here. She was here last year. We did this for social media because she was working on her photography. So there it was. Better not have been any of those dating sites. Just say, talk to Mr. Vanelli. We'll figure them out. All right, so this was from last year. Oh, by the way, I got to show you this. Those smoke ninjas that we've been doing, these smoke ninjas are absolutely amazing. And I was told, I'm not going to mention his name, I don't think it's right, And I was saying, I looked, I said, look, Farrell, no. He said, oh, they're not going to set the smoke alarms off. So Michael here, Bart's brother, was my assistant making that smoke. Look, he did a phenomenal job. Phenomenal job with the smoke. So well, he set the smoke alarm off. Rick Freeman was out, way out, so he had nothing to do with it. He was outside shooting. Farrell was in the other room. I still, to this day, it was him who did it. Because he was in a smaller room. Look how big these ceilings are. So, fire alarm goes off. And by the way, us three at breakfast sat down with Karen and we had a bet on who can capture the best image with smoke. I kid you not. You guys were here. Smoke alarm goes off. Fire department comes in. Farrell comes out. He sees me put the fireman in the chair to photograph him. 3 shots. That's all it took. 3 images. And then we convert it to black and white. Farrell walks out, looks at the fire, looks at me, looks at the fireman, looks up at the TV and goes, you did this on purpose. You set it off. It's just, no, this doesn't count. The fireman has no idea what we're talking about. This doesn't count. And he's like, did you do this? No, I didn't do it on purpose. So that was the shot of the day. Don't you think, Shan? What do you think? That was the one, wasn't it? So we got the shot. But that's a perfect example how you pivot. We didn't have time to set the lights up with the guy. He sat down. In fact, the good-looking guy, remember, Gorgeous Rob, they called him or something? He looked like the poster boy, like, oh, he goes, I wouldn't mind. I go, no, not you. You! Me? Yes! And at the time, I weighed 320 pounds. I said, if someone's going to climb a 7-story building to bail me out of a fire, I want it to be you and not him. Doesn't he look like a fireman? Right? The other guy was good looking, but no offense. So he goes, Cap, I'm sorry. Is that okay? He goes, well, and all of a sudden he starts putting on his gear. No, I don't think I should. Okay. And he grabs his helmet, sits in the chair, 3 shots, less than 30 seconds. Bip, bip, bip. We sent it to him. He sent it to his wife. She loved it. He goes, oh my God, how did you get that edited that quick? Before they left, he had it. Bart sent it to him on a text message. That's the power of proficiency. So when someone says, are you a pro? Pro means professional? No, it doesn't. You should always be professional, no matter what you do. Pro means being proficient. And if you're proficient, you're a professional. But I'm just an amateur. Don't ever. Who thinks they're an amateur in here? Raise your hand. Who doesn't get paid for their work? Raise your hand. Oh, you're an amateur? Come up here. Come up here quickly. Come up here. All right, listen to me. I want you to give me your best image from today. Here's $1. You're a pro. Now you're a pro. All right? So, she got paid for her work. She's a pro. Guys, I'm sorry. I've seen a lot of your shots. The freaking spider images are still freaking me out. How can you call yourself amateurs? You're photo enthusiasts. You love doing this stuff. Some of you are retired. Some of you do this for a living. So in this case here, be proficient. Because the more proficient you are, the more creative you can be. Or like the kids last night, they end up going to they sell a drive-in movie theater. That was so cool. They got all their work done quick. Boom, they all took off and went to the drive-in. How is that? Could you imagine if they had to sit back here and edit all their images all night and then give up being a teenager going to something like that? Nope. You guys are the same way. Your spouses, they're going to be patient for so long. But if every night you're up there till 3 a.m. editing and you finally go back to bed, they're going to go, what the heck? Are you married to me or that computer? So it's really important to be proficient in what you do. All right. So that's what we did with them. And we also did the sports grit look with sports. Oh, thank you. Thank you. He's on his 2nd generation. All right. So that's what we ended up doing. We had a little fun. Bart brought me to the high school to shoot. So there we have it. Now let's go back to this here. All right. So just walking around. These are not hero shots. These are, I need to get my camera ready type shots. Ooh, okay, a little behind the scenes stuff. Oh, okay. Now, this is where we grabbed the gentleman here. And this was cool because what we did, look what I'm doing, look what I'm doing, boom. You see what's happening? So instead of saying, okay, all right, pose, found Joe, smile. Hold that smile, Joe, looking good. Hold a little more teeth, Joe, a little more teeth. A little more. Hold it right there, Joe. Keep it, hold it, Joe. Isn't it awkward? Right? Wow. So with motion. So if you notice, look, now he's getting into it. Look at him. Now he's getting into it when he did it. And look, there's his ending. That's the shot I like. And what was it? I asked him a simple question. If you were in battle and you're done, what's the first thing you need to do? Well, sounds gross, but I have to wipe the blood off the sword. Okay, well, where would you? I'd probably back at the play. Oh, no, you're still in the field. Oh, if I'm in the field, I just use my shoulder. So he did. All right, now start up here. When I say action, just slow motion, come down, come down, come down. And then the last part, your hype, your adrenaline. How are you feeling? He started getting into it. And then there was the shot that we ended up with. And his mother says afterwards, wow, he's really shy and quiet. Really? He didn't act it there. Because do you see what I did? I asked him for his expert opinion. How old is he, Sean? He's an older guy asking a young person, hey, I need your expertise. You can't tell me that didn't, oh, wow, thank you. Right? Because I knew what they would do, but I didn't know how they would do it. He did it. Rick Friedman was asking, Rick Farrell was asking Anthony, who puts all this on, well, can we put the king? Could the king hold the falcon? And he said, no. He's like, oh, dangerous? No, because the king would never hold the falcon. The falcon handler would be the one holding it. Now, in my mind, and I know Bart's mind, we're thinking lawsuit, lawsuit, lawsuit. You know, you got a wild animal. You're going to give it to somebody who doesn't use animals? Horses last night. Who did the horses? Those that were trained. Could you picture me up on that horse? The horse would look at me and go, away from me. You are not getting on top of me. I don't know the first thing about jumping on a horse. Too dangerous. So, in that case, Rick asked, could the king hold him? No. So then what are we going to do with the handler? Oh, so the falcon, if you want that falcon in the shot, then you always have the falcon handler, it's called, in the scene, falconer. You have the falconer in the scene looking cool. Flip-flops, street clothes, and the account. Oh, yeah. So, but the point I'm getting at is this is where you start to ask questions. Now, I had no idea this was Natalia's father. He wasn't here for the shoot. He just was excited taking pictures. So I gave him Luminar Neo on my phone, and he started snapping shots. So I took pictures of him taking pictures. And then there's a photo of me and him together. And of course, his daughter said, oh, two bald guys. That's so cool. Anyways, now here we are again. Let's take this shot with Troy. Here, I was just showing your father. So here's Troy. Troy, it's going to sound a little morbid. This was your first battle. How do you feel about, taking a person's life? That's freaky. Puts his head down right here. He's somber. He's thinking about it. Now we're going to change the storyline. Ready? Here we go. We're going to get ready in a moment. I'll show you the storyline. Ready for the storyline? The person the life you took, you avenged your brother's death. Look at the look he gave. Imagine you defended your brother's honor. Look at his attitude now. You see the difference? Now, I didn't get the shot. Who was Frankie? Frankie was with me. His mama calls him Frankie. I call him Frankie. Frankie, I gave you gold. And what did you do? You missed it twice. What did I have? What did I get him to start doing? I got him to start laughing and smiling. So there's Troy. down on the ground, and I said something stupid like, "Oh wow, for a good-looking for an ugly kid, he photographs really well." I looked, he started cracking up, and he looked up and just started laughing. There's your shot. You have the reaction to the reaction. So sometimes it's great. I learned that from Tony Corbell, world phenomenal photographer. He photographed Bush Sr. Spent the entire day with him. At the end of the day, Bush Sr. comes up to him and says, I got to tell you, Tony, this was an honor. Now, for somebody, it happens to treat it all the time. But for a celebrity to do that, or a person that's a great honor for a photographer. Anthony, the master photographer he is, didn't skip a beat. George Bush is walking away. He goes, if I knew you were this nice, I would have voted for you. And he got the car ready. He turned around, gave him the look like, what? And he starts laughing. That was one of the winning photos. Out of the entire set that he was there to shoot, that was the image they all wanted. Rick Friedman did the same thing with the Laughing Clintons. He caught this emotion that no other photographer caught. That's where you learn the reaction to the reaction. Now, you have a choice. There are people in this world who, let things happen. They like to use street photography. We have a fly in the wall. I don't make my presence known. And there are others that make it happen. If you're an introvert, you're probably that person who's up against the wall. If you're an extrovert, you're the one who makes things happen. Me, I'm very shy and quiet. So I get really awkward around people. So in my case, no, I have no problem directing a set. Respectfully, I'm photographing in Milwaukee, and we met up. You go how I did that photo shoot for my buddy Sterling. Well, I did a little tour through Milwaukee. We stopped at one of our Luminar Coffee Break members. We photographed waterfalls. I'm sorry, from Syracuse, New York. I see Niagara Falls. That's a waterfall. This was ugly. There's no such thing as ugly waterfalls. Yeah, there's no such thing as ugly babies. Give me a break. There is, but people don't talk about it. So it was an ugly waterfall. You know why? The time of year. It was fall, so all the pollution from the leaves made the water just look ugly and muddy. What are the photographs of ugly waterfall? Put the camera in black and white. They made everything black and white. Well, as we're doing it, guess what they had? They had locks. Like it was overlooking a little river. They had lots of these. Like, what are these for? Because, this is where lovers come and they make a commitment to each other. They put a lock, they put a key, and they throw the key in. It's romantic. I kid you not. Young couple walking by. The dude puts a combination lock on it. Can I not say something? She's like, no. So I gotta say something. So she's photographing. I go, I'm so sorry. How long have you been dating? For a month. Really? Combination lock? So what happens? You guys decide, I don't want to date each other. You just come back here and know the combo? Hey, you're supposed to throw it. Hey, well, I'll just write it on a piece of paper and throw it. You can't memorize it. So now I got them going. Oh my God, hilarious. She's cracking up as we're walking up these long steps. Remember, last year I couldn't even walk. So I struggled going up these steps for one of my poems. I took a shot of the step. I loved it. And I saw this older couple. And she goes, oh God, you're going to do something. I go, what? No, I'm not. So they're walking. The path I wanted was straight ahead. Beautiful, winding trees. They're walking the wrong way. I go, oh, wait a second. Whoa. How long have you two been married? 48 years. And that's how you hold her hand? What? Hold her hand and walk down the romantic path. She goes, okay, honey. And they start walking down the path. I go, give your bride a kiss. Go ahead. Give her that kiss. No, I want a passionate kiss. Strangers. She's like, so they're kissing. I'm taking pictures. She's freaking out. Oh my God. I can't believe people do these things for you. You have to read the crowd. You know what people are rude and obnoxious. Why? They're not going to do that, so don't taunt them. But friendly people. You and I hit it off the first time we got here, back and forth. Shannon. Remember quiet, shy Shannon, who wouldn't say two words? By the time we got done, she was ribbing on me. I said something, tie your shoes. She goes, get some hair. And I go, And she goes, "I'm sorry, did I go? Oh, your little girl's grown up." And I started crying. Oh my God, you have made me so proud of you right now. And I gave her a hug. She goes, "Oh, thank you." I go, "Oh my God, you definitely came out of your shell. You have to know how to do that." It backfired me on once doing that. That whole, oh, for an ugly kid, you look cute. Well, I brought at my friend Lisa's this party for them. I brought everyone together, and this one cousin had a partner, and I jokingly said, "Oh no, all good-looking people are here. Move over, a little more, a little more." Good, he's out of the frame. It was fine, and he sat down and would not take a picture. I felt horrible. No matter what I said, I couldn't recover. The following year, it was at a party we saw again. I went up and said, "Look, I got to apologize to you. I am so sorry." That's a joke I usually do, and I no, it's no, I was having a bad day. Thank you, but no, can I please do a photo shoot of you and Joey? Please, I know it'll mean a lot to him. He's going off into the military, to the Air Force. Oh, thank you. I did this amazing shoot with them too, just because it was awesome. Thank you you're the first adult that's ever apologized. And I thought, oh, really? You better start hanging out with better adults. But no, but that's where you have to know when to back. And if you're too much, just in this case here, I just love the way he did this. So, we did it again, and there he is. So, with this shot here, you can tell I did a little bit of my grit look to it. Here's the original. Give it a moment. And not changing. That was anticlimactic. You say, well, let's do this. Do I have it? Edit? Yep, it's here. Oh, okay. Oh, you know what? It was an edit of an edit. Oh, you know what? It's not showing up for some reason. It's a raw file. I know I edited it. Trust me. Edit. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yep, right here, struggling. Anyways, so sorry you couldn't see it, but that's not the original. So with the original raw file, I added different effect. We'll just grab one right now. Let's grab. I wonder why that did that. His head's down. All right. Edit. And again, we could just start out either with enhance and let it, look at this, let it figure out what it wants to do for me. Okay, I kind of like it. Oh. Let me see if I can say, we have something coming out real soon. I'm not allowed to talk about it. So this is me not talking about it. All of you, because you're here at this workshop, you get it. You get it for free. Because as part of your workshop registration fee, this new thing I can't tell you about, or I can't show you, when you get it, you're going to go, oh my God, this is what Vanelli was talking about. It is next level. And I'm not just saying that as hype. That's why you're not seeing it, because it was in the beta version. I still brought it into here, and it's not the same, and I can't show you that yet. So the old way of doing it would be something like this until the new way. Oh, thank you. Until the new way. So we got this going here, but you know what I'm going to do? I like a mood. And the mood I'm going to pick, these are called LUTs, lookup tables. Now I'm going to do ones that are included. So this is color grading. When you hear film people talk about color grading, this is color grading. It shifts the colors around. So you want that sepia look, your little contrast. There we go. I like this. Yeah, I like a lot of desaturation. There we go. Let's bring it in. So here's the original. Look at all the greens. Now, you see what it just did? It shifted those, and that's what's called color grading. And if you ever notice, if you ever watch like a behind the scenes in a movie set, you're like, wait, I'm watching the movie. That looks nothing like the monitors, because it's being color graded as you're photographing it, and it's cool. It looks nothing like, it looks too clean. This, to me, looks way too clean for this image. There we go. For this image, that looks too clean, because that error, that time period, I want more of a grit type look. So you guessed it, I'm going to go to my creative, and dramatic. And with a dramatic tool, there I am. Give me that grit look. But guess what we're going to do? I only want it on him. I don't want it on the background. Mask, brush, paint it just on him. And around. There we go. It's better if you make sound effects, it goes much faster. And then I'm going to use the X key. I went a little too crazy. There we go. All right. There we have it. Now we have to tie it all in because it just looks like, oh, really, you applied a look to him. What about the background? Now we have to somehow tie layer. We have to tie things in. Well, I'm going to use the matte feature. Why? Because this got the biggest bad rap when Instagram started doing this. I love the Instagram vintage look, but it was so overused, people would mock photographers for doing it. Now people forgot all about it. Now what's old is new again. So I love that faded look. I love the faded look. Now I'm going to come in, brush, erase. Now I'm going to use the strength. I'm not going to do as much. I still want his face. There we go. Look at that. There we go. Now, I don't think I put it in here. In fact, I don't start it. I created a movie poster for him, and it was the Last Oath. It was called The Last Oath. Let me see if I do have it. Actually, you know what? I may have it. Let me just hide my screen for a moment. Actually, you know what? Yes, I think we did that. I did. Okay. It's like I'm saying this is an apology. This isn't the final image yet. That the last, I mean, I wanted to see the colors. So instead, this is where, yes, you have to use a program like Photoshop or Canva to add text to it. And that's what I did. So what I would do now for all of you is I'll create the template with the Last Oath and all this other stuff to it. So when you apply it to your images, this is the final one. Yeah. So when you apply it, you just overlay it on top of it. I'll give you a video to do it. You overlay on top of it, and now you'll have the same look that I did, but you'll make it look like a movie poster. All right? So that right there was just a real quick way or an example to get that in. Now, before we close up, I do want to take time for questions. And by the way, look, practice different angles. You never know. Just shoot from all different sides. And then, oh, here we are. This is without the light. Oh, now we add light to the scene. I'm just doing real quick test shots. I asked him again. Posing. Where would you put your shield? Look at the difference. Now, you do know we have Sky AI. We can just replace the sky in one click. For now, I mean, I would have to do more editing with this originally, but I mean, just a simple, where are we, landscape? Here we go. Landscape. Was a creative relight. Oh, you know what? They did it. They moved it to my favorite. All right. I'm just going to do this guy for now. But look, I'm going to replace that sky, but obviously it's not going to match because it's more golden tone. So you can come in and just start adjusting. There we go. All right, that's more believable. There we are. Then you can do a dramatic sky, whatever you want. But this is how you slowly start to build. And then you finish off with the different edits. All right? Up to this point, are there any questions you guys have for me?
Limit to how far you can enhance.
Are there any limits to how far you can enhance? And remember what we said, Lightroom and Luminar AI was a parametric editor. You only apply the tool once. So now, what I'm trying to do is I'm moving your mindset. So if you do something, you're like, oh, I want more. Because remember, it's designed not to go over the top. It's designed to be photorealistic, not a Photoshop. If people look at it and go, well, that was edited, then you didn't do your job. But if you're like, yeah, okay, computer, You know, I value your opinion. I want more. Add it again. I want more. Add it again. More. And then Neo talks back to you. Dude, go, slow down. You're getting too crazy. Trust me, it won't talk to you. But if it does, Alexa will start laughing. Trust me, Alexa will get a kick out of it. So just apply it again and again and again. Exactly.
Got the-
Thank you. So he's talking about sharpening, and I'm glad you brought that up because I should have clarified it. And don't say, Vanelli, oh, you're a hack. You should have told us this. Structure AI. Structure AI, thank you. That's going to enhance the overall image and boost the entire image. But guess what? It's human aware. Notice his face isn't being affected. So that's structure AI. If you say, look, I want his face and skin, now details. What I like to do is this. What the heck did this slider do? Oh, wow, look what it's doing with the medium one. What's it doing with the small one? Oh, what's it doing with the large one? You know what? Give me a better understanding. Guess what we did? We built in the user manual into the document. We built it in. Why am I excited? I wrote the user manual and nobody was reading it. How frustrating is that? 3 months of my life and you're not going to read it? So the engineers designed it into the program. Here's what's even better. So not only do they design it in, it tells you the detailed tools helps you, blah, 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 blah. I want more. Click learn more. It takes you out to the website and it shows you a video or more content on that particular image. So when I create more videos, the team just puts it up there. Oh, you want to learn more about this new feature? Click here. It's built in. The other where it's built in is right here. Help. You can do onboarding videos, video tutorials, Luminar Marketplace. Where is my user guide? Right there. Click on the user guide. It's built in. Gone are the days you have to search through YouTube and find people who are not giving the correct information or they're using an outdated software. And you're like, what the heck? So it's built in. We do have a new feature. Yeah, I am. I'm going to talk about it. All right, we have a new feature coming out real soon. It uses think of ChatGPT, but strictly for Luminar. Where do I begin with this photo? And the assistant, well, let's try this. Boom, boom, boom. These are the tools you should try. I do that with ChatGPT every so often. Here's this image I'm editing in Luminar Neo. Who am I? You're a Vanelli. You're the director of education. It knows me. Great. I wrote a user manual about this. Well, in your user manual, you said to do this, this, and this. Great. But expand. Now that the program has evolved, I asked ChatGPT, what else could I do with the different tools? So I tried, I'm like, oh, that is so cool. We have something like that's going to be coming out inside to where you can ask it, what can I do in this with this image to make it look better? And it does it. All right. But with the adjustments here, what I like to do is I do a little arrow method. I usually do medium here and then kind of make like an arrowhead. Why does that work? I have no idea. Look at that. Can you see it? See what I mean? But look what it did to his skin. That's why the other one. And by the way, I didn't have time to show it now, but for models, raccoon eyes they call it. You know, when we photographers either get to forget to light them properly and shine light into their eyes, or they were getting too comfortable the night before and went out partying and they showed up with bags under their eyes. We have it under the face tool here. I'll pull it up. I was going to bring it up. I want to show you this first. Face, eyes, and right there. Dark patch circle removal. Let's see, does he have any? He's not too bad. Yeah, let's see. Oh, not bad. Look, you can see a little bit. Look at that. How cool is that? That's my one of my contributions. do it. I called it raccoon eyes, but I did it for another company years ago, and that company no longer does consumer to consumer products. So I was allowed to bring that technology with me, and Skylum just laughed. We can't call it raccoon eyes because that's not our thing. So that's what we did. Skin enhancements and stuff. Here's what's really cool. I'll make it quick. I'm one step away from the developers. I need something changed. I have one person I can speak to. Boom, and it's inside the pro. That's cool. You know what's even cooler? You're 2 steps away. You have me. Hey, Vanelli, I've been doing this and this. You know the answer? No. But do you think it's a good idea if Luminar had this? Let me check with them. Now I can go to them. What's better? Your friends are 3 steps away. You introduce them to Luminar Neo, they check it out, and they say, I wish it did this. No, let me check with Vanelli. And you act like the big man on campus. You come back, oh, listen, I talked to my people. My people are going to reach out to your people. So, all right. Well, I hope this was very helpful for all of you. Thank you. All right. So, for everyone else that's watching this on the rebroadcast, thank you so much. And we'll see you at the next live event, Coffee Break.